Hi, everybody. So today is going to just be sort of an informal chat about how the homeschool year is going so far. This is my mid-year check-in, and I'm just going to share where we're at as far as homeschool goes and a little bit our personal life and things like that. So I'm excited to have this time to sit down and just catch up with you guys. So I don't really have anything scripted here. I'm just going to try to organize my thoughts and just share how the homeschool year has been going so far. So if you're interested in hearing how this year has been going, stick around. Before I get into all of this too far, I do want to say that today's video is a collaboration hosted by myself and Shauna from Homegrown Homeschool. A bunch of other moms are going to be joining us in this collaboration. They're going to be talking about how their homeschool year is going so far. So this is the mid-year homeschool check-in. And so definitely check out the playlist when you're done watching this video if you want to see what all the other moms are up to at this point and how their homeschool year has gone so far this year. All right, so like I said, it's an informal chat. If you have some coffee that's sitting in the microwave, beeping away because you have reheated it for the 50th time, go ahead and reheat it and grab it and sit down, or some tea. I actually have some lemon balm tea, something I've been drinking a lot of to kind of help keep me calm in general. So let's see, how has this homeschool year gone? I would say personally, we are not quite halfway through the homeschool year. We're getting close-ish, I would say, towards the end of this month or beginning of next month. We're probably halfway through. This is our 4th year of homeschooling, and I don't know how much it has changed in the last few years. I feel like we're pretty much very similar style. I mean, it is more routine, so it's not as hard to get going, I would say. The kids kind of get what's happening, and so that's a benefit of homeschooling for a while. We just have our routine, and I just have to make tweaks and change things here and there a little bit, so that part is good about being in our 4th year of homeschooling. So as far as school goes, I think things are going pretty smoothly. Independent work that I picked for my kids in general is working well. My boys' stuff is working. I did have to reduce it quite a bit at the beginning of the year just to be realistic, and that has been going pretty well. And then with the girls' things, it's a little hard with the girls. They are in middle school and they're working on a few high school credits, and I have one who struggles a bit, so she takes a bit longer to do her work. And then I have one who is able to get through her work very quickly. And so it's a hard balance between the two of them, how much to give, like, for example, how much to give the one that can go through things quickly. Do I need to be challenging her more? And then the one that struggles, is she getting enough? Are we doing enough for her at the right level for her? So sometimes it's a bit tricky to figure out how much to do. I do feel like they have a pretty solid amount of independent work and group work. We do a lot of group work together, and we're still doing that. And I do like to do all the things, so it's a bit hard sometimes to just keep those things in check. For example, today we went way over on our group time, and I looked at the clock, and we went at least half an hour longer than I expected. This is our second full day back to school from our break. So I think it's just going to take a little bit of rebalancing and figuring out the right amount of group work to do, so I'm not going over so much, so the kids have actual time to work on their independent work. Now, during Christmas break, I am generally at someone else's house, so I'm at my in-laws' house, and so I don't have as many requirements on me as far as planning the meals and things like that. So I do have extra time to think, and so that is often the time where I am looking at our curriculum and just really evaluating whether or not I like what we're doing, what we need to change for the upcoming school year. It might be a little bit early, but I do like to sort of start thinking about all that at around this time of the year. And I definitely went through and I looked at what we had, and I looked at what my plan was. Perhaps, I like to plan ahead. So I looked at my plan, And I definitely did reduce a few things, but overall, I feel like in the upcoming school year, we are going to be continuing a lot of the things that we're currently doing. So that is good. That means that at this point, a lot of the things that we've chosen have been working. I might take out a few things for my boys just because I'm definitely at the point where I'm feeling like maybe less is more. And I think that a lot of homeschool parents struggle with this. There's always something new and shiny that you could add to your homeschool. And I do like to try out new things, and I do get bored if we do the same thing over and over again. But realistically, it's really hard to do all the things. And coming back to school after the break, I was feeling very overwhelmed just looking at my kids' work. And so I was kind of considering, do I need to take some steps back, especially in their independent work? Am I actually giving them a reasonable amount of work? Maybe this season we need to slow down a bit. Maybe at the beginning of the year it was okay to do this much, but is this the actual right amount of work to do coming into this season? And so I don't know if it was just me coming back from the break and then feeling really overwhelmed. So here's a bit of the things that happened during the break that caused me to feel really, really behind and getting overwhelmed and all that stuff. So I would say most of November and December, I was feeling pretty good. I felt like we did a pretty good balance of school and having time with my brother who was visiting for just over a week and hanging out with family and Christmas prep and all that kind of stuff. I felt like we had a pretty good balance going into the break, but a few things happened during the break that sort of maybe threw me off and just started the overwhelmed feeling that I'm kind of feeling right now. So one thing is my external hard drive that I keep a lot of stuff on. So I don't keep stuff on my computer so much. I keep it on this external hard drive because my computer cannot handle all the things with videos and just a lot of things. So I had a lot of pictures. I had some pre-recorded videos that I just needed to edit. I had some videos that I had already edited and I was ready to upload on here. And it just, right before our trip and then on the trip, it was confirmed that I wasn't able to access all the things on that external hard drive. And so I spent a lot of those 2 weeks just trying to figure out how to make it work, doing all the research, trying to figure out how to make it work, asking my brother-in-law, who kind of works with computers a bit, and then trying to find an expert in data recovery to try to get things off of my external hard drive. And so just not knowing whether or not I was going to get those things back. And I can't say for sure like how much was on there. I know there's things that make coming back and continuing on with YouTube at this point a little bit challenging just because I had pre-recorded things and I had things that were ready to go. And I just have some things that just make things easier on there. And then also I don't know how many pictures and things that I might have lost that were on there that maybe aren't on my computer. I do have like a cloud sort of thing, but I don't really, and I did try to back those things up, but I don't see a lot of really old stuff on there either. And I do have another little drive that probably has our really old pictures and things, so I didn't lose like everything, but I just don't really know what I lost we didn't recover that external hard drive. So there's a lot of just little things that I run into when I'm trying to make videos. I'm like, oh, I don't have that, or I need to remake that, or, oh, I have to, yeah. And then just, that sinking feeling that you get when you're just like, when you remember all the things that maybe you have lost, especially pictures and memories and stuff like that. So there's that. Then on our journey back, we had a bit of an issue at the airport that caused me and one of my children to not make our flight. So the rest of the family made it on time, and then me and one of my children, we had to take a flight the next day, and there was a lot of stuff that was kind of a little difficult surrounding all that. So thankfully we made it home and the next day, and I wasn't sure if that would happen, but we did. And what that caused was I had to hit the ground running when I got home, because pretty much the day that I got home, we got home like 2 or 3 in the morning. The next morning we had stuff with the parent partnership program that I had to get my kids to. And then I think just coming home from time off, and I did have a great time off. I did like take naps almost every day. It was relaxing. I got time to just not do stuff and to not think. And I got time to think as well. But coming home, I just feel like all the stuff just came at me all at once. And so I was just feeling really overwhelmed. You know, my house is a mess. We don't have any food. We have to start getting to classes. I wanted to start our homeschool like full on that Thursday and Friday, which I didn't do. We just did independent work. I'm getting phone calls from like counselors and just trying to get back into getting back into everything has been very overwhelming. People, you know, having play dates with people, which I love, but also like, I don't know if I can do that right now. So just things seem like they're all popping up in January. People are ready to get started and doing things. And I'm just like, I don't even know how I get through each day, with the schedule that I have. So, I mean, so I'm a little discombobulated. First day back, I like banged my head really, really hard on the van door, like right here. I don't know if you can tell. So I had a huge bump there. Now it looks like I have a zit. And then yesterday making dinner, I had some curry that I was heating up in the microwave. I was taking it out of the oven and then it slipped and it fell all over my hand. And so then like my hand got burnt. It's feeling okay right now, but it definitely did hurt like last night really bad. And then like this morning was still hurting. So it's a little bit like I don't want to wash dishes because of the heat. But yeah, just things like that. So I hope I don't sound like I'm complaining. Just saying it just feels like a lot right now. And a lot of things are just coming at me and just feeling overwhelmed. So I'm just sharing that because I know that I'm not the only one who is experiencing this now, or maybe has experienced this recently. Maybe it was the Christmas season for you, which it often is for me. It's often around Christmas that this happens. But right now it's happening kind of right now in January. So just a lot of things and a lot of things in my brain. And so coming back, I wasn't really feeling super ready to get full in, but I did. We started Monday and today's Tuesday. So we've done 2 days of our full on homeschool days, and they've gone pretty well. I did realize that I wasn't as prepared for the Monday as I thought. So I was up really, really late on Sunday doing some of the group work prep because I had finished off a lot of things. So there were some things I needed to get prepped. So there was prepping to do. So there's just stuff that's coming up that are unexpected or expected, but I just don't feel like I have time for right now. So even like today, my husband said he had a meeting that he'd like to go to after school. And he's like, is that okay? And I was just like, no, you can't go. I have this video I have to make. I have to make this video today for my collaboration that I'm hosting. So I kind of have to make it. And so, yeah, normally that'd be fine. I would take the kids to dance and taekwondo and stuff. And I'm like, no, I need this time to make this video. So yeah, so that's where I'm at. I am feeling overwhelmed and I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm feeling a little more caught up. Just kind of hoping that things will settle down and we can settle in and I can get maybe a few steps ahead, so that I'm not constantly feeling like I'm just trying to do the thing that is due the next day. So overall, things have been going well, homeschool wise. I question all the time whether or not I'm doing the right amount for my kids, the right amount of work for my kids. Generally, it's more in the, am I doing too much? Because I do like to do all the things. So it's generally more like, do I need to cut back? Do I need to take a step back here? And then coming back, I was feeling a little overwhelmed by what they had and then trying to get them to complete what I felt like we needed to complete. And then in planning the new school year, what can I take out? So I have decided like at least one thing that I'm going to take out for my boys and not add on. And then for my girls, it's hard because it is going to be 8th and 9th grade. So high school is pretty much, it's here. High school is going to be here for reals. And it's not just going to be a course here or there. So what does that look like? And how can I keep doing stuff as a group, but not overwhelm my girls by giving them like double the work or anything like that? So that is sort of in my mind. So another update is, so my oldest, she is the one who's officially going to be in 9th grade. She is 15, so she's a bit on the older side. And I'm not worried about homeschooling my kids in high school. At this point, I've done a lot of research. I'm very excited about it, actually. I would love to homeschool all my kids for high school. However, I am also willing to, especially at her age, let her have a choice or a voice in the decision that we're going to make. Now, going straight just public school in our area is not an option in my mind, but I did want to offer her any options that I felt were acceptable. If there were some other options that would allow her to have some choice in how she's homeschooled or what her schooling looked like, I wanted her to have that choice. And going into 9th grade, that is a big decision year, because in many cases, if you homeschool during 9th grade, you're not going to make it back into the public school. You can maybe take a few courses here and there, but I would definitely be the one graduating her, making her transcript, giving her the diploma, and she wouldn't be able to walk and all that sort of stuff. So it is a pretty pivotal year and a big decision. And I have kept my eyes and ears open for opportunities in our area to give her that choice that I'm talking about. So we are currently looking into a few options. One is a parent partnership program. It's a different one because the one that we are in right now ends at 8th grade. And so I'm looking at a parent partnership program that is half an hour from our house, which I don't love. That is very far. However, it is 2 days a week, and 2 days a week, maybe 8:30 to 2 o'clock. So shorter days. And in those 2 days, they cover the main core subjects. So they would do math, language arts, science, and social studies. And I think they also have an elective there. However, this program does expect parents to also be involved. And so we would definitely be teaching one of her electives. And I have been doing research about it, and it doesn't sound like it's a super rigorous program, as you can expect from only going twice a week. So I feel like I would be able to supplement and add on quite a bit if she did do this program, which is what I like. I like to be able to still have a lot of time to have input here. However, she would then graduate from that program if she stuck with them all 4 years, and she would get credits for the official credits that we added through the program. So that's an option. The atmosphere there is not, it is a public school, parent partnership. It is a public school. However, the students that go there are very much more, I would say, a mix between homeschool type families like ourselves. So people who want an alternative education like that, as well as maybe some kids who just weren't fitting in the public school for certain reasons. But I have heard that the administration is really good with like discipline and keeping on top of that. And another thing is they don't teach health. And so anything that I might not agree with in that scope would not be covered. And I've had a lot of Christian families assure me that, yeah, they have felt very comfortable and have been very happy with what the program is like. So that is an option that I offered to my daughter. So we are going to be looking into that and going on a tour and seeing if that's an option. We're going to be making a pros and cons list as far as what are the pros and cons of this. I think she would really like to be a little more independent. I think overall she has really benefited from homeschooling or doing school at home the way we have been doing it. Her self-confidence has really improved since she was in public school. However, she is one of my children who expanding her wings is something she might need a little help with. And so this could be a really healthy way for her to start experiencing some things outside of the home, start expanding her boundaries, and maybe getting pushed a little by other people other than me. So it could be a really good thing for her. Now, as far as all my other kids, my middle daughter, she really has no interest in doing anything other than homeschooling at this point. She could change her mind, and it will be her decision to make next year in 9th grade if she wants to stick with homeschooling. And that would be official, real homeschooling, because there's no parent partnership program that goes beyond what we're doing at this point. Unless we went through this school that I'm talking about now, they actually do have an at-home parent partnership program, but I just don't want to do all the requirements that we would need for graduation through high school. So I would officially homeschool her next year or the year after, if that's what she chooses. And then I have my 2 boys who are in middle school, and I just want to test out this program with my older daughter before I commit to having more kids go into this program. So it's going to be kind of like a testing year to see. And I do love that I will still have her home Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. And she will have some homework from the school, and we'll see what that workload is like. I've heard it's not a lot, but like I said, my daughter does struggle a bit more, so it could take her longer. It will take her longer than the average student. So I'm just going to have to really play this a bit by ear as far as her curriculum goes, and see what it's like if we do this, what it's like before I go and plan all of her at-home subjects. So that's going to be hard for me to just hang in there and not decide and not plan really too much for her. But I think I can do it. So there are some other things that I'm also wanting to look into this year. There are 2 co-ops in the same area, 30 minutes away. They are homeschool co-ops, but they meet a little more regularly. So there's one that is a middle school, high school drop-off program that is twice a week. And I think they do teach a lot of the main subjects as well. So the thing about that would be we could do something school-ish. And I don't know if I would be teaching or not since it's a drop-off program. I probably would try to teach because I'd have to be on site for my youngest son because I can't leave him anywhere. So I would probably be trying to teach a subject so that it would offset the costs of my kids going. Obviously, the drawback of that is they would be picking the curriculum. So I don't love that. I'm sure there would be some things that I would be doing on my own at home, but a lot of the subjects would probably be covered if we did that program. And then another one is a co-op that is K to 8th grade, and they might be expanding it up as they go. And that one is a little more, they're trying to be a little more Charlotte Mason-esque. So it might be a little bit different. The curriculum would be different from this other co-op, but also the same thing. They might be picking a lot of the curriculum. So I'm not sure if those are options or not. I do want to go and visit basically those 3 schools. So the parent partnership program and then these 2 co-ops, and just see what it's like and see if any of those are of interest to us. So we're thinking about things for the upcoming school year, but I'm not committing to any of these things yet. I feel like the most likely one at this point is the first school that I talked about with my oldest daughter. She seems very excited about doing that, and so it might be something that we try. I don't know that she'll like it once we get started and if she will stick with it or not, in which case then we'll just homeschool her, and that's fine. And I have, like I said, I would like to do that, but I want to give her some options and choices. So that is where my brain is at right now, just trying to figure out just considering what we have available here. So the funny thing is, what started all of these thoughts of all of these different co-ops and schools was my middle son, who, like, starting in March of last year, he just became very, very, very challenging and difficult to homeschool. His attitude was just really not good. And I was like, I don't know if I can homeschool him. I might need to look at some alternative things where other people are teaching him. I don't know if the benefits outweigh the negatives. He is super social, but he also is a follower. So I don't know if social situations would make things better or worse for him. I think possibly worse. And then, of course, the time constraints that things like this put on us, like driving 30 minutes to do a co-op or to do a school, and then it's there and it's in your schedule and it's set and there's nothing you can do about it. I don't like the thought of that. I love the freedom that homeschooling gives us to make our own schedules and pick and choose what we want to do. So I was looking at these more for him because I'm like, I don't know if I can keep homeschooling him. This is really, really bad. However, things have settled down with him, thankfully. The attitude has gotten better overall. Like sometimes we spike into that again, but it's less extreme, I would say. And so at this point, I'm not even considering it for him. I'm just considering all these things more for that one school for my oldest daughter and then the co-ops for all of the kids who want to do it. I wouldn't force all my kids to do it. So my middle daughter, really, I think I'll probably be homeschooling her, just straight out homeschooling her, because she doesn't really care if she's at a co-op or if she's at a school. She doesn't really want to do that. She just likes to do things on her own schedule and have free time to do things that she's interested in. So I'll probably be homeschooling her the whole time, but we'll see about the other ones and what changes happen. So if you're curious to find out what we end up doing, stick around. I am still looking at curriculum and planning out my year. So I have a plan A and a plan B. So I'll be sharing my thoughts and what I'm planning for my kids if we choose to just keep doing things our own way. I'm thinking that we'll probably be doing that for at least 3 of the kids. And then if my oldest is at the high school, then I might just have to be more flexible on possible things that I might do with her, but I'll have to wait and see what her workload is like. Now, if you're wondering how I'm going to homeschool my kids while one child is going to school 30 minutes away, my thoughts on that are I do need to bring my boys with me when I take her to the school because I can't leave them at home. I can leave my middle daughter at home and she will love having 2 days of the house to herself to get her work done. She will love that. So that will be perfect for her. And then it is 30 minutes away. So I don't necessarily want to drive there and then drive home and then try to homeschool my boys and then drive back again and pick her up and then drive home. I don't want to do 2 hours of driving. That sounds really bad. So some of the considerations are my boys actually do get a lot of work done in the car. So we can get some work done in the car. We can do audiobooks on the way to our school. There's stuff we could do in the car. And then that town that we're going to, they have a really nice library. And they also have a large homeschooling community. So on the 2 days she's at school, I can plan on doing work with my boys at the library, getting their independent work done, doing any group subjects or subjects that I would do with my 2 boys together there at the library. I can look for other nature groups or co-ops or things that might be happening on that day. If nothing's happening on that day, I might be able to plan something. I could plan a get together with homeschoolers in the area once a week or something like that, and just give my boys a chance to make friends with other kids their age. There is a coffee shop in that area that has a lot of classes for homeschool kids. So maybe we pick up a class that the boys could be taking sometime during that day. And so, it's not a huge long day. Once we get there, it'll be 8:30 to 2, and I'm going to be picking her up in between there. So that might work. And then we just be home Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. So I don't know. It doesn't sound amazing, but it doesn't sound horrendous. And it might be when we tried it out, but yeah, so we'll see. So I am sorry if that was very rambly, but that is all the stuff that's in my brain right now and how things are going with us and just life as a homeschool mom. There's always different opportunities and different things. And I just feel like when you start homeschooling, your brain, your mind is just open to all the possibilities. There's just so many more options to you and your kids and their education than I was thinking when my kids went to public school, when I thought that their education was just covered and I didn't have to do a lot of planning. Yeah, it might be too many options sometimes, but I'm grateful for options when it comes to educating our kids. And so those are some of the things that I'm just thinking about right now. So I need to hear from you guys. I want to hear, how is your homeschool year going? Are you about halfway through? How has it gone? Have you had to change a lot of things? Are you thinking about the next school year? Do you have a million thoughts going through your brain like I do? I would love to hear it. Just let me know in the comments below. I would love to have a chat. And so don't forget to check out the playlist below to see how the other YouTube homeschooling moms are doing at this point of their year. I can't wait to catch up with them and see how things are going in their school year as well. Thanks so much for coming today, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye, everyone.